let's talk about girl math, because somehow in the year 2025, we've resurrected a tired stereotype about women being bad with money, and instead of calling it out as the dated stereotype it is, we've decided to slap it onto TikTok and treat it like a quirky personality trait. It's internalized sexism, optimized for social media. For the uninitiated, girl math is the copium huffed by galaxy brain creators who decree that if you return something and buy something else, the second thing was free. If you use cash instead of a credit card, it doesn't count. If you get in-store credit from a prior purchase, the original purchase was somehow cheaper after the fact. And if you spread a purchase out among enough days, months, or years, the cost is essentially zero. The funny thing is, there isn't a boy math trend going viral on social media where men talk about the latest crypto rug pull that they fell for, or a luxury car that they have a 20% interest rate on over 120 months. Why? Because financial dumpster fires perpetrated by men don't play into endless years of tired stereotypes. Specifically, the stereotype that women are impulsive and irrational and therefore financially incompetent. Anything that plays into baked-in stereotypes immediately gets good traction because it's seen as relatable because people have heard it before. And there's another important reason that these types of videos are not as prevalent exposing men for their financial messiness. And that's because Batman couldn't beat these kind of admissions out of men. There isn't a whole viral trend about boy math where men expose themselves and proclaim their latest sports betting addiction and act like it's a substitute for emotional depth. Meanwhile, women are just lining up to proudly display a dated stereotype as a quirky, adorable personality trait. But a bit of advice, girl math isn't a personality trait. It's just an echo chamber granting permission to be financially careless. And that permission doesn't benefit the actual creators, it just benefits credit card companies, buy now pay later platforms, and fast fashion conglomerates. You know, the kind of companies that make money when people disconnect spending from consequence and handwave every purchase away by saying, girl math. And this isn't just me having a tinfoil hat crash out. It actually has real impacts. It's no secret that American consumers are drowning in debt. In 2025, the US credit card debt now stands at $1.8 trillion. And keep in mind, this is just credit card debt. It does not include other types of debt that Americans are saddled with, such as student loans, their car notes, or God forbid, payday loans. A majority of Americans carry credit card debt, with the average balance being about $7,000. And a quarter of those say that they go deeper into debt every month. So no, this isn't quirky. It's a system where purchasing decisions have real consequences that people are ignoring. And it's not just credit cards. There's a huge shift towards buy now, pay later financing, the darling of influencer-friendly commerce. Monthly buy now, pay later spending jumped nearly 21% in just 1 year from June 2024 to June 2025, and it's projected that 90 million Americans will use buy now, pay later this year alone. The buy now, pay later market is expected to reach hundreds of billions of dollars in transaction volumes within the next coming years. And here's the catch. There's a growing share of these users who are not paying on time. In 2025, about 4 in 10 buy now, pay later users reporting paying late on one of their payments, which is up notably from previous years. So the debt cycle is getting worse and worse, and people are struggling more and more to pay. So while the allure of instant gratification might look good in a 30-second TikTok video, the real financial reality behind these decisions is very dark. And to be clear, a little impulsive buying here and there to get their serotonin hitting a little isn't inherently a bad thing, but mindlessly consuming because social media demands it, and then giggling it away as girl math isn't cute and adorable. It plays directly into the desires of big corporations to spend money without a second thought, because people are repeating propaganda demanded of late-stage capitalism, vibes over budget. These cute rationalizations aren't just little quirky catchphrases. They're part of a broader cultural and economic pattern where debt is becoming normalized, disguised, and even celebrated. Just think about it. People are carrying credit card balances that they cannot pay off in the same month. People are using installment debt just to afford small expenses, and people are proudly joking about it all on social media. We applaud it because it looks relatable, but really, we're just perpetuating the cycle. And girl math doesn't just normalize bad financial thinking, it trains people to disconnect spending from consequence. This trend doesn't exist in a vacuum. It exists inside an ecosystem that is already screaming at you to buy more, to use more, to upgrade more, to consume more. And girl math specifically reframes any sort of critical thinking as something that is uncool, because any sort of pause would be dangerous to consumption. Because in that pause, people might ask, Do I need this? How long will I actually use this? Do I want this, or do I just want someone to see me have it? Can I afford this? Is this actually going to improve my life? And again, this isn't something that people have to ask with every single micro purchase. I get that capitalism is exhausting and people cope. I cope. But mindless consumption driven by algorithmic pressure to keep up with trends and then giggled away as girl math isn't cute, it's compliance. It's just people unknowingly reinforcing the mantras of late-stage capitalism. Fun first, finance it later. Don't think, just shop. Joy is instant, consequences will come later. Again, it's all about vibes over budget. Overthinking it is just seen as uncool. And sure, as someone who works in finance, I've never been accused of being overly cool, but I do think that resisting corporate manipulation is at least a little bit rebellious. Maybe. Kind of. Maybe just a little bit. So maybe in 2026, we retire girl math, not in favor of being miserable or joyless or not spending anything, but just in favor of something a little different. Basic financial literacy. Because knowing where your money goes and the financial impacts of your decisions isn't boring, it's a pathway to financial freedom. That's all I have for you today. If you like this kind of content, let me know in the comments and be sure to subscribe.